Have you ever sensed that someone dislikes you but hides it behind politeness? Subtle behaviors, disguised words, and forced smiles can reveal more than we realize, yet often go unnoticed. The Stoics remind us that self-awareness and clarity are essential when navigating human relationships. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." Today we will explore signs someone dislikes you, empowering you to recognize subtle patterns of behavior while staying grounded in emotional strength. In this video, you will learn how to identify these signs, why they matter, and more importantly, how to respond with the wisdom of ancient Stoic principles. We'll break down practical insights inspired by the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, focusing on self-mastery, resilience, and emotional clarity. By the end, you'll not only be able to spot these hidden behaviors, but also apply timeless Stoic habits to strengthen your mindset, preserve your peace, and rise above emotional negativity. Stay with us as we dive deep into these transformative insights. If you're ready to cultivate clarity and emotional strength, like, comment, and subscribe to Stoic teachings today. Together, let's explore the path of self-mastery, one principle at a time. Number 1, they avoid physical contact with you. Physical touch has long been a silent language of trust, connection, and emotional closeness. Yet when someone consistently avoids even the most basic physical contact, like a handshake, a pat on the back, or standing close during conversations, it often signals something deeper than mere personal preference. It can be a subtle yet revealing sign of emotional distance, discomfort, or unspoken tension. The ancient Stoics, especially Marcus Aurelius, believed that human connection was built on sincerity and mutual respect. Avoidance of physical contact can indicate the absence of those very principles. Marcus once wrote in Meditations, "A person's worth is measured by the sincerity of their actions, not by mere words." True relationships are marked by openness, while avoidance suggests a rift not openly acknowledged. But what does this avoidance mean in practice? Imagine you're among colleagues or friends. Most people share casual gestures of trust, handshakes, shoulder taps, even a simple leaning in during conversation. These small actions create a sense of warmth and mutual respect. However, when someone consistently withdraws from these moments with you, standing further back, avoiding eye contact, keeping their hands visibly occupied, it raises an unspoken barrier. It's easy to dismiss this behavior as personal space preferences, and in some cases it is. But when avoidance is selective, where they engage warmly with others but create distance only with you, it becomes a clearer message. This subtle behavior speaks louder than words. Why does this happen? The Stoics teach us that avoidance of emotional honesty often comes from internal struggles. Perhaps the person feels threatened, uncomfortable, or harbors unresolved feelings they cannot express verbally. Seneca reminds us in letters to Lucilius, "He who is afraid to confront discomfort only magnifies it further." In some cases, the avoidance is a passive form of social exclusion, a nonverbal cue signaling that the person feels disconnected from you, but lacks the courage to communicate it directly. This behavior can lead to an imbalance of respect in relationships, where one person feels undervalued while the other avoids accountability. How should you respond? A Stoic approach calls for emotional clarity and personal integrity. Instead of reacting with frustration or self-doubt, practice detached observation. Ask yourself, is their behavior consistent with everyone or just with me? Have I done something to cause discomfort, or is this purely their internal struggle? Am I seeking approval where it may no longer serve my growth? The key isn't to demand physical closeness, but to reflect on whether the relationship maintains mutual respect. As Epictetus taught, we cannot control how others feel, but we can control our response to their actions. Practical steps to apply Stoic wisdom in these moments. Acknowledge it calmly. If the avoidance persists, consider addressing it privately. A simple question like, "Have I done something to make you uncomfortable?" can open space for clarity. Release the need for validation. Remember, your self-worth is not tied to how others physically react around you. Seek internal validation through your principles and integrity. Maintain self-respect. Avoid overcompensating with forced friendliness. Stay composed, calm, and respectful without chasing acceptance. A personal reflection. There was a time I noticed a friend withdrawing, avoiding physical contact, standing further away during conversations. Initially, I questioned my own behavior, wondering if I had offended them. But upon reflection, I realized it was not about me. They were navigating their own emotional struggles, and once I stopped seeking external validation, I found peace. Final insight: avoidance of physical contact can be a subtle yet powerful indicator of how someone feels about you. However, in true Stoic fashion, it's not a reflection of your worth but a sign of their own internal struggles. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be. Be one." Focus on your growth, your principles, and surround yourself with those who uplift you with honesty and respect. If you found this insight helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more timeless Stoic wisdom here on Stoic Teachings Today. Number 2, they disappear when you need support. There is a profound truth about human connections. When life is easy, support feels abundant. But when hardship strikes, true loyalty is revealed. One of the most revealing signs someone dislikes you is when they vanish during your most challenging moments. This silent form of neglect speaks louder than words, highlighting a lack of genuine care and respect in the relationship. The Stoics, particularly Seneca, taught that adversity is the true test of character, not only our own, but also the character of those around us. Seneca wrote, "True friendship is tested in times of difficulty, for it is in hardship that loyalty proves itself." When someone consistently disappears during your struggles, it reveals a pattern of avoidance that often stems from discomfort with emotional vulnerability or a lack of sincere concern. But why does this behavior occur? Often, people withdraw when faced with the discomfort of another's pain. They may not know how to offer support, or they avoid it entirely to preserve their own emotional ease. Yet avoidance in difficult moments sends a powerful message: your struggles are not my priority. Consider a personal example. Imagine sharing a vulnerable moment with someone you trust, perhaps the loss of a job, personal grief, or a difficult life transition, only to receive silence or vague excuses instead of the support you need. The truth is, when someone values a relationship, they show up when it matters most, not just when it's convenient. The Stoic perspective on support and loyalty. The philosophy of Stoicism teaches us to remain emotionally anchored even when others fail us. Marcus Aurelius emphasized in Meditations, "Waste no time arguing what a good person should be. Be one." His words remind us that while we cannot control the actions of others, we can control how we respond, with clarity, resilience, and dignity. When someone disappears during difficult times, it can be a reflection of their own limitations, not a measure of your worth. The Stoic approach is to accept reality without resentment while learning to identify relationships that align with mutual respect and integrity. How to recognize this sign in real life: excuses instead of empathy. They frequently claim they're too busy but remain available for others. Lack of presence. They avoid checking in during personal hardships or offer only superficial support. Selective availability. Support feels conditional, offered only when convenient or when they benefit. What can you do when someone fails to show up? 1. Practice emotional clarity. Recognize that their absence reflects their character, not your value. 2. Set clear boundaries. If a pattern emerges, consider how much emotional energy you're investing. 3. Seek meaningful connections. Redirect your focus toward those who consistently show up and support you. A Stoic lesson in personal integrity. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the idea that we are all tested not by the words we speak, but by the actions we take. When someone fails to be there during challenging times, use it as an opportunity for self-reflection rather than resentment. Ask yourself, am I placing my trust in the right people? Have I communicated my needs clearly? Am I willing to let go of relationships that no longer align with my values? A personal story to illustrate this wisdom. I once experienced a difficult period of personal loss. The silence from someone I considered a close friend was deafening. At first, I felt hurt and even questioned my own worth. But over time, I realized their absence was not about me. It was a reflection of their emotional capacity. That experience taught me to value relationships where presence and empathy are mutual. Final insight. True support is not measured by words, but by actions. If someone disappears when you need them most, it's a powerful sign they may not truly respect or value the relationship. As the Stoics remind us, let this realization bring clarity, not bitterness. Surround yourself with those who stand firm in both calm waters and storms. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more timeless wisdom from Stoic teachings today. Let's continue exploring the principles of self-respect, emotional strength, and personal growth together. Number 3, they gossip behind your back. Gossip is not merely idle chatter. It's a subtle betrayal wrapped in whispers. When someone speaks negatively about you behind your back, it reveals far more about their character than it does about yours. While they might think they're being clever, this behavior is often one of the clearest signs someone dislikes you but lacks the courage to confront their feelings honestly. The ancient Stoics warned against such behaviors, emphasizing the importance of truth, integrity, and emotional resilience. Seneca once reflected, "What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears." This speaks to the fragility of human behavior, how often people resort to destructive patterns rather than face their own insecurities. Why do people gossip? Most often, gossip arises from insecurity, envy, and a need for social validation. When someone feels threatened by your success, they may seek to diminish you by spreading subtle negativity. It's easier to undermine someone's reputation from the shadows than to confront them directly. Key signs: someone dislikes you through gossip, inconsistent behavior. They act friendly in person but speak negatively when you're not present. Exaggeration and distortion, personal details twisted or presented in a way that diminishes your accomplishments. Group whispering, subtle conversations with mutual acquaintances designed to alter how others perceive you. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If anyone can refute me, show me I'm making a mistake or looking at things from the wrong perspective, I'll gladly change. It's the truth I'm after." This profound reflection reminds us that we can only control our reactions, not the words of others. The Stoic perspective on gossip and emotional strength. From a Stoic viewpoint, gossip reflects weakness in the speaker, not the subject. True strength lies in maintaining virtue despite provocation. Epictetus taught, "If anyone speaks ill of you, do not defend yourself against the words, but instead respond with your actions." The real harm of gossip isn't the words themselves, but the emotional impact when we allow them to affect our self-perception. Stoicism teaches us to separate external noise from internal peace, a discipline that requires both emotional clarity and self-control. How to handle gossip with Stoic wisdom. 1. Do not react emotionally. The first rule in handling gossip is restraint. Avoid reacting out of anger or defensiveness. Marcus Aurelius emphasized, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." 2. Confront without conflict. If the gossip directly affects your relationships or reputation, address it calmly. Instead of accusations, ask direct yet respectful questions such as, "I heard some concerns, can we clarify them together?" 3. Let your actions speak louder. Your character is defined not by words but by your consistency and virtue. Continue living with honesty, emotional strength, and self-respect. Over time, truth will outshine rumors. A personal story of overcoming gossip. Years ago, I found myself the target of gossip from a colleague I once trusted. What began as casual observations turned into damaging whispers that questioned my integrity and work ethic. Initially, I felt hurt. My instinct was to confront and defend myself. But through reflecting on Stoic wisdom, I realized their words were beyond my control. Instead of reacting emotionally, I chose to double down on my actions, focusing on my work, maintaining professionalism, and staying true to my principles. Over time, the gossip faded, but my reputation for integrity remained. Practical steps for personal growth. In these moments, pause before responding. When confronted with gossip, take a breath and avoid impulsive reactions. Seek truth, not validation. Focus on how you define yourself, not how others perceive you. Maintain your principles. Consistency in your actions will always carry more weight than rumors. Choose your circle wisely. Surround yourself with those who uplift you, not those who thrive on negativity. Final reflection. Rise above gossip with Stoic strength. Gossip is often a reflection of insecurity and emotional immaturity, not a measure of your value. As Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Rise above pettiness, stay anchored in your values, and let your integrity speak louder than any rumor. If this message resonates with you, consider liking, subscribing, and turning on notifications for more timeless Stoic wisdom from Stoic teachings today. Let's continue exploring the power of emotional clarity and self-respect together. Number 4. They constantly joke about your flaws. Humor can be a powerful tool for connection or a subtle weapon for harm. When someone repeatedly makes jokes about your flaws, especially under the guise of just kidding, it's often a clear sign. Someone dislikes you but hides it behind sarcasm. These so-called jokes may appear playful, but beneath the surface, they can reveal a deeper intent to undermine your self-confidence and assert dominance. The Stoics warned us to be mindful of how we allow the words of others to affect us. Epictetus famously taught, if someone speaks ill of you, do not defend yourself against their words, but instead live in a way that disproves them. Yet, it is crucial to recognize when these jokes cross a line from friendly teasing into a pattern of disguised disrespect. When jokes are not just jokes, it's easy to dismiss sarcasm and constant teasing as harmless banter. But true humor should bring people together, not diminish their self-worth. A person who persistently jokes about your flaws often reveals underlying resentment, jealousy, or personal insecurity. Key signs to watch for: repetitive teasing. The same jokes about your appearance, abilities, or habits keep surfacing. Hidden criticism. Jokes targeting your weaknesses rather than celebrating your strengths. Dismissive responses. If you express discomfort, they deflect with phrases like, "You're too sensitive," or "Can't you take a joke?" Marcus Aurelius reminds us, do not waste time arguing about what a good person should be. Be one. True friendship uplifts and supports, while disguised insults serve only to undermine. Why people use humor to undermine you. From a Stoic perspective, those who use sarcasm to belittle others often do so to mask personal weaknesses. Seneca observed, what others say about you is often a reflection of their own struggles. When someone feels threatened by your growth, success, or character, they may use constant teasing as a subtle way to keep you self-conscious. These behaviors are often rooted in ego, power dynamics, or unresolved personal struggles. But remember, you are not responsible for their insecurities. How to respond with Stoic wisdom. 1. Maintain emotional control. A key Stoic principle is mastering your emotional responses. When faced with subtle insults masked as humor, resist the urge to retaliate. Respond with calm detachment. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. 2. Address the behavior calmly. Confronting this behavior doesn't mean emotional confrontation. Instead, clarify with calmness. I've noticed you often joke about this. Is there something you're trying to say? This approach disarms sarcasm by bringing it into the open without conflict. 3. Set boundaries. While Stoicism teaches tolerance, it also emphasizes self-respect. If the teasing continues despite addressing it, clearly express your limits. I value our friendship, but I don't appreciate constant jokes at my expense. 4. Lead by example. Instead of engaging in the same behavior, demonstrate kindness and integrity in your own words and actions. Let your character speak louder than their criticism. A personal reflection on handling toxic humor. There was a time when I faced constant teasing from someone I considered a friend. The comments started subtly, harmless jokes about my appearance, work habits, and personal goals. At first, I brushed it off, assuming it was all in good fun. But as time went on, the remarks became more frequent and more pointed. I realized that allowing this pattern to continue was not just harming my self-esteem, but also giving silent permission for the behavior to persist. Inspired by Marcus Aurelius' teachings on self-respect, I decided to address it directly. I calmly expressed how those jokes made me feel and set a boundary. Surprisingly, the behavior stopped, and our dynamic shifted. This experience taught me that addressing discomfort with calm confidence can preserve both dignity and relationships. Practical steps for personal growth. When facing sarcasm, reflect before reacting. Pause and ask yourself if the teasing is truly meant to harm or simply lacks awareness. Clarify, don't assume. Engage in open dialogue instead of making assumptions. Strengthen your inner narrative. Remind yourself that external words cannot define your value. Cultivate supportive relationships. Surround yourself with those who elevate you rather than those who belittle you. Final reflection. Rise above insincere humor. True wisdom lies in recognizing that the opinions of others do not define you. If someone feels the need to repeatedly joke about your flaws, it reveals their character, not yours. As Marcus Aurelius said, choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Rise above pettiness. Stay anchored in self-respect, emotional clarity, and personal growth. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more powerful insights on Stoic wisdom from Stoic teachings today. Let's continue this journey together, one principle, one mindset shift at a time. Number 5, they subtly exclude you from plans. Being excluded from plans can be a silent but powerful message. It often leaves you questioning your worth and the strength of your relationships. However, exclusion, especially when subtle, can reveal more about the intentions of others than your personal value. This behavior is one of the clearest signs someone dislikes you, but hides it under the pretense of forgetfulness or accidental oversight. The Stoics, however, teach us a more empowering truth. Your sense of self should never be dictated by external approval. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Exclusion hurts when we base our self-worth on external validation, but when grounded in Stoic principles, we can rise above these emotional disturbances and reclaim our peace. Why people subtly exclude you? Exclusion often comes from insecurity, jealousy, or unresolved conflict. Rather than addressing issues directly, some individuals choose passive avoidance as a way to communicate discomfort. Key signs of subtle exclusion. You find out about events after they happen. The classic, "Oh, I thought you were busy" response. Inside jokes you're not part of. Conversations shift to topics you're unfamiliar with. Lack of effort to include you. Being left out while others consistently stay connected. Seneca wisely advised, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. By overthinking exclusion, we often amplify the emotional sting more than necessary. True wisdom lies in perception control, separating facts from emotional assumptions. The Stoic approach to handling exclusion. 1. Acknowledge without overreacting. Emotional detachment is not about ignoring pain but responding with clarity. If exclusion feels intentional, avoid emotional retaliation. Instead, ask yourself, does this situation truly define my worth? 2. Address the issue calmly. The Stoic way is not to avoid confrontation but to seek clarity with calm composure. If the exclusion affects your peace, consider asking directly, I noticed I've been left out recently. Is there something we need to discuss? This approach disarms defensiveness and opens space for honest dialogue. 3. Control what you can control. Epictetus taught, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. You cannot control how others behave, but you can control your self-respect. Focus on how you show up, regardless of how you're treated. A personal reflection on exclusion. There was a time when I was subtly excluded from a circle I once felt connected with. Events were planned without my knowledge, and my presence seemed increasingly overlooked. Initially, the sting was sharp. I questioned my value, replaying scenarios where I might have caused offense. However, after reflecting on Stoic wisdom, I realized this exclusion was not a reflection of my character. I redirected my energy towards strengthening my values and embracing relationships rooted in mutual respect. The result? A deeper sense of self-worth and clarity about the types of connections I truly wanted to cultivate. Practical steps for overcoming exclusion. Pause and reflect. Avoid assuming malice. Reflect calmly on the situation. Detach emotionally. Your value is not determined by inclusion in every social circle. Reframe the experience. View exclusion as an opportunity to focus on personal growth. Strengthen your inner circle. Prioritize relationships built on respect and authenticity. Final reflection. Rise above social exclusion. Exclusion can be painful, but it also serves as a powerful teacher. It reveals who values your presence and who may be projecting their own struggles. As Marcus Aurelius reminded us, to live a good life, we must cultivate the ability to remain unaffected by others' judgments. True strength lies in your ability to stay grounded, rooted in self-respect, emotional clarity, and wisdom. Let exclusion refine you, not define you. If this message resonates, subscribe for more powerful Stoic insights from Stoic teachings today. Let's continue this journey together, one principle, one mindset shift at a time. Number 6, they're always busy, but only with you. Have you ever noticed someone always seems too busy, but only when it comes to you? It's a subtle yet revealing sign someone dislikes you, often masked behind polite excuses and half-hearted apologies. But beneath this pattern lies a deeper truth. People prioritize what matters to them. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one. The Stoics remind us that our value should never depend on how others choose to treat us. When someone consistently places you at the bottom of their priorities, it's not a reflection of your worth, but of their choices. Why someone might always be busy with you. There are often hidden reasons behind this behavior, including avoidance. They feel uncomfortable, but lack the courage to be direct. Power dynamics. Creating distance as a subtle way to assert control. Loss of respect. Emotional disconnection without honest communication. However, Stoic wisdom reminds us that external actions are beyond our control. What matters most is how we respond internally. The Stoic perspective on emotional detachment. Epictetus famously taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When someone consistently avoids you, the immediate emotional response might be hurt or confusion. Yet Stoicism encourages us to resist the pull of these emotions and instead ask, am I attaching my self-worth to their actions? Is their behavior a reflection of my value or theirs? This mental shift turns rejection into reflection, strengthening your emotional resilience. How to respond with Stoic wisdom. 1. Avoid emotional overreaction. Stay calm. Remember, their actions do not define you. A Stoic response is rooted in composure and clarity, not emotional reactivity. 2. Seek clarity without attachment. If the behavior continues, it's reasonable to seek understanding without emotional dependence. Consider asking, I've noticed we've been distant lately. Is there something we should address? This approach opens the door for honest dialogue without accusations. 3. Focus on self-mastery. Seneca taught, you are your choices. Rather than dwelling on someone else's distance, focus on your personal growth and self-mastery. Strengthen meaningful relationships. Cultivate your values and purpose. Release emotional attachment to their approval. A personal reflection on emotional distance. There was a time when a close friend of mine began withdrawing, always too busy when I reached out. At first, I questioned myself, had I done something wrong? But through Stoic reflection, I realized the truth. Their distance was not a reflection of my character. Their avoidance was their choice, not my burden. I focused on what I could control, my emotional stability, my self-respect, and the relationships that truly valued my presence. Practical steps to apply this Stoic habit. Reflect instead of react. Ask yourself if their behavior defines your value or reveals theirs. Detach from the outcome. Engage without expectation. Your peace comes from within. Redirect your energy. Channel focus toward relationships that uplift and support you. Final reflection. Rise above emotional neglect. When someone is always too busy for you, remember this: you are not defined by how others treat you. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Rise above. Choose self-respect, emotional clarity, and personal growth. True power lies not in forcing connections, but in mastering your own mindset. If this message resonates, subscribe for more Stoic wisdom from Stoic teachings today. Together, let's continue this journey of self-mastery, one principle at a time. Number 7. Their compliments feel like insults. Have you ever received a compliment that left you feeling worse, not better? Perhaps someone said, "You're surprisingly good at this," or "I didn't expect you to do so well." These words, while disguised as praise, carry a subtle sting of condescension. This behavior is often a clear sign someone dislikes you, yet hides it behind backhanded compliments. The Stoics, however, offer a powerful lens to understand and rise above such subtle negativity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." No words from others can diminish your inherent value when you are grounded in self-awareness and inner strength. The hidden meaning behind insincere compliments. When compliments feel like insults, they often reveal more about the giver than the receiver. These remarks can stem from insecurity. The speaker feels threatened and attempts to mask their discomfort. Passive aggression, a subtle way to express jealousy or resentment. Control, using backhanded praise to keep you doubting your own worth. Seneca wisely observed, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." These moments, though uncomfortable, can serve as opportunities for growth and self-reflection. Without reacting emotionally. The Stoic response to backhanded compliments. The key to mastering emotional resilience lies not in changing others, but in mastering your perception. 1. Recognize the intent, without reacting emotionally. When someone offers a veiled insult disguised as praise, your immediate reaction might be frustration. However, Stoicism teaches us to remain detached from external judgments. Pause and ask yourself, does this reflect my truth or their insecurity? Do I need their validation to affirm my value? Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. 2. Respond with calm confidence. Instead of reacting defensively, you can neutralize the remark by clarifying the intent. "Thank you. What do you mean by that?" This approach forces the speaker to confront their own words while keeping you composed. Remember, calmness disarms negativity. 3. Reflect, but don't internalize. Not all comments require confrontation. Often the most stoic response is to let the remark pass without giving it power over you. Detach from their words. The insult exists only if you allow it to. Focus on personal integrity. Let your actions speak louder than words. A personal reflection on handling insincere praise. I once received a compliment from a colleague after completing a challenging project. They said, "I didn't expect you to handle this so well. It was impressive." At first, the words stung. But after reflecting on Marcus Aurelius's teachings about staying grounded, I realized their words were not a measure of my ability. I chose to focus on the value of my work, not the subtle negativity behind their words. In doing so, I reclaimed my sense of inner strength and clarity. Practical steps to overcome insincere compliments. Detach from emotional impact. Words only have power if you give them meaning. Clarify the intent. If the remark feels unclear, seek clarification with calmness. Strengthen self-confidence. Ground your worth in virtue and personal growth, not external validation. Choose wisdom over ego. Remember, their perception is not your reality. Final reflection. Rise above insincere praise. Backhanded compliments may sting, but they also offer an opportunity for personal mastery. By practicing emotional control, self-reflection, and inner resilience, you can rise above negativity. As Marcus Aurelius taught, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Stay true to your values. Let wisdom, not ego, guide your response. If this message resonates, subscribe for more timeless insights from Stoic teachings today. Together, let's continue mastering emotional clarity, one principle at a time. As we conclude, remember that recognizing signs someone dislikes you is not about creating conflict, but understanding human behavior with clarity and wisdom. True strength lies in how we respond, not in how others perceive us. The Stoics remind us that external actions are beyond our control, but our reactions define our character. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. By mastering emotional resilience, setting healthy boundaries, and maintaining inner peace, you can transform moments of discomfort into valuable lessons for personal growth. Key insights to take away. Stay grounded in self-respect, not external validation. Recognize subtle signs of negativity, but respond with wisdom, not ego. Use Stoic principles to build emotional clarity and personal strength. Remember, true self-mastery isn't about avoiding difficult situations, but rising above them with grace. Let these Stoic principles guide you in every interaction, turning challenges into opportunities for growth. If this message resonates with you, like, comment, and subscribe to Stoic Teachings today. Share your thoughts below. How have Stoic habits shaped your mindset? Together we can continue this journey of self-discovery and emotional mastery.